Okay, good day again. Welcome to another Parameter Skills tutorial for the After Effects series. I think for this Parameter Skills training tutorial, so I'm trying to make myself as more explanatory as I can. Okay, so in motion graphics, we're gonna be using some set of tools actually, but there are some tools that are not actually in the effects and presets. Okay, but you're gonna have to apply them when you make the object yourself. Example for it is what we call trim paths. Trim paths are actually something that can help you to animate mostly a line or a shape, to form a pattern or to form a very good form. Okay, and we're gonna make a very good representation of that. You can press option new. Let's create a new solid, and I think I'm gonna choose the red type, the dark red type. Okay, and I'm gonna name this background. Okay, that's BG for background. Okay, and this looks perfect just like this. So next thing I'm gonna be doing is creating a shape layer. And to create a shape layer, I can use the pen tool, or I can use the rectangle tool, or the circle, anyone that is just kind of preferable to me. So I'm going to use the pen tool. So let's create a pen tool from here to here. Okay, and I could just increase the stroke thickness just like this. Okay, I think I'm going to go with white just like this. So this is the shape I've just created with a pen tool. I'm going to turn off snapping, just prevents me from making any unusual mistake. Okay, that looks pretty cool. So now, one thing we can do with all the shapes is we can actually do a lot of cool stuff with the shapes if you don't know. Once we click on the shape layer here, as you can see we can press add. As you can see, we have a lot of set of tools here. We can add wiggle path, wiggle transform, zigzag, twist, and everything. Most of the stuff you're going to be using when working with stuff like this is fill, stroke, gradient fill, gradient stroke, repeater, merge parts, and trim parts, and also with offset parts too, if that's possible. And we're also going to be using some wiggle expression, but maybe that will be when we are discussing expressions in After Effects. So let's make use of a trim part for now. So trim part is very simple to use. You know, we are totally working with shape layer in this one. Trim part is actually very easy to use, and you just have to make quite bit of use of it. So this is trim part. So in order to work with trim part, there are a lot of stuff you need to know. We have the start and the end keyframe. As you can see, the trim part can animate the line to go up and go forward. So now you know how those motion graphics of line come into place. And look at the end. We also do a lot of stuff with the end, right? So to start with this, I'm going to teach you a very basic one. So let's just, okay, let me teach you how I did that. Okay, so when I click this place, this particular line stuff, you know, whenever I click anywhere, there's always a yellow line covering everything. So whenever I click this down place, there's always a yellow line that's always covering that particular place. So if I use plus, this place divides into the set of frames. Okay, the set of frames in between. If I use the plus sign, okay, the plus sign, okay, that's the plus sign. If I use the plus sign, I go deep into the frame. But when I use the backward sign, the frame continues to decrease until you can see seconds and seconds and seconds, or to the highest one. Even if it's an hour, you're going to see it until you keep up pressing minus and minus and minus. So I hope I've made myself clear there. So let's go. So now, I don't like starting my own from the 0 seconds. I prefer starting from 1 second and shifting back to any kind of time I wish it was in the first place. So we're going to start with the first second, and it looks pretty promising. Yeah, we've set everything at 0 to 0 to 0. So we're going to animate the end keyframe at first, and that will be at 0%. Then we're going to shift forward a little bit towards the second, or maybe in the middle. We're going to do this in the middle of frames, but okay, so let me do this in the middle of frames. Okay, and you're going to turn the start keyframe also at 0. Then you're going to move to 2 seconds, and you're going to turn those keyframes, the end keyframes, to 100%, and you're going to move towards 215 again, and turn the start keyframes towards 100%. So I know this might look a little bit hard to you, but it's kind of a good stuff. So now we're going to play this. Look at how stuff animates the line just for us to make it looks quite cool. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to talk about. Look at it. So actually we could just press this, and if you want to edit the motion, or you just press U shows all the keyframe. When you press letter U, it shows all the keyframe, just like this. Okay, so this is all the keyframe. This will show you only the start and the end, and I'm gonna press F9 to easy ease them. But if you want to go the hard way, just press option, just click on this keyframe and right click on it, and you go to keyframe assistance and you press easy ease. So when you go to the easiest, you're gonna open the graph editor. This might look like a bit of nonsense to you in the first instance, but you're gonna get the hang of it very soon. So this is gonna be what it's gonna show to you. But as a pro, first go and press Option. You right click on those blank place and press Edit Speed Graph. Okay, so this is what's gonna basically look like. And now this one detects how the keyframe moves. I'm not gonna be doing much of graph editor kind of talk. So actually, we want to make it to move quite a little bit, more controlled, and everything should look a little bit more slow. And okay, if you want to make it more slow, we could just make it like this or like this. But let's just make everything to seem slow and fast. So I'm gonna make everything to push towards this particular center. Okay, just like this, and kind of do the same thing right here. You have to just draw a line like this. It's gonna show this stuff, and you're gonna click on it, and we want to make sure that everything draws towards a particular side. So let's just say we managed to easily use this. Now let's play this. Now you see it plays very fast. That's because we push it against this particular point. Look at it. Look at the graph editor against this particular point. So whenever it reaches this point, it plays very fast. This plays indicates a very fast kind of stuff and fast kind of stuff. So let's say we didn't even apply it at first. It still be slow at first. And to make it look more realistic, why don't we apply motion blur? Okay, I think I've applied the motion blur. So I'm gonna click on this, and I've seen it looks much realistic. So I've been starting trying to talk about in that particular part. So that's one thing about trimpaths. Trimpaths can be used in a lot of stuff. You could have seen fireworks and stuff like that. So trimpaths can actually be used, and we're going to explore that very soon. So now, one thing we need to get to know when we're using trimpaths is that we can actually use them with other tools here. Let's make use of the repeater. Click this, you press add. We're going to add a repeater. Now this is where it gets tricky. The fact that, okay, we're going to have to stay here. So this kind of seems like we can actually do a lot of stuff with this repeater stuff. Let's take a little bit of a path towards repeater. So this is the repeater 1. Click it, and maybe we just adjust number of the repeater shape to 6. Okay, then we open the transform repeater 1, and we set the position to 0. That's gonna put everything right here. Okay, put everything right here. So now for us to do some good stuff, we're gonna have to adjust the anchor point just a little bit around here. Okay, so right here, as you can see that as I move this, I've already admitted the start and the ends of each of the anchor points. So I added a repeater right here, and I made the number of copies around 11 copies. I could increase the copy, stuff like that, 11. And now for me to get this perfect round stuff that you're saying, okay, I had to go to transform repeater 1, and I improved the anchor point. Okay, that means the anchor point, I had to give a little bit of a switch of numbers, so I got the exact digit, as you can see. So I got the exact digits that in which they could rhyme together. Now please note that position is 0, and scale, this is normal scale. You don't need to do anything with the scale. And the rotation, I had to rotate it just to make sure that everything is balanced. Okay, so I'm going to set this back at 66. You can use the same digit I've used here, and as you can see, it goes like this. But just looking at this, you don't see regular circle balls like this, and this is where you get to make the change yourself. Now you're going to select this right here, and you're going to go option, time, reverse layer. Okay, and when you press time reverse layer, it's going to do the opposite of everything. Yeah, opposite of everything. So as you can see, this time here is 10 seconds, right? So you're going to press this and open where the keyframes are. This is where the keyframes are, and you might have to shorten this just to this place. Okay, and you're going to take a little bit of move back here. So if you play it right here, you see, so we've managed to create a little bit of circle burst of our own. So that's what to tell you about what trimpaths could actually do. Trimpaths could do a lot of stuff. Okay, and before our time goes, let's take a little bit of stuff about a little bit of what trimpaths can do. I think I'm creating this inside the shape layer one, so I'm gonna go back and kind of create another shape one. Okay, let's say this is the shape, and I'm sorry, that's never the correct shape. This is shape layer 2. So I want to create a good shape. So as you've known before, I'm gonna have to press Alt and Shift to make it to look quite good. And I think it looks quite better with this. Then press the pound behind 2 and the anchor point is set at the center. Then what I can do again, just to create another trim path, is to make sure that there's no fill. So I click on the fill right here and I press this none, and you can see the fill right here, and you can see that that's a stroke already. So now I want to animate the stroke to make it like kind of trim path or kind of rotating kind of stuff. We're gonna make use of trim path just like this, and this is what we're gonna have to do. So now look at this. Add. You can just add. We're not gonna add a repeater yet. We're gonna make use of trim path as usual. So look at this trim path. Now we could just do some stuff and some stuff and some stuff here, but let's just remember that around this particular point it is 0%. That is my own scale. Okay, I've first set everything to 0. Okay, as you can see, everything is 0%. I'm gonna put a keyframe at the end, then I'm just gonna go a few frames forward towards this particular frame, and I'm gonna have to set the start to 0. Okay, and I'm gonna go a little bit towards this 1 2. Okay, I think this is at the center of it. Okay, and I'm gonna have to set this one to 100%. I'm gonna have to set the hand to 100%, and right here I'm gonna have to send this one, so I'm gonna have to send it to 100 too. So hopefully you can see a lot of stuff you can do with trim path. Let's move it a little bit to this place so you can see what I'm talking about. So when we play this, it's gonna give us this. Okay, you see how beautiful and simple it is. So that is a little bit of what we could do with trim path. We could actually do a lot of stuff with trim path. Why? Let me just show you the third one we can actually do with trim paths. And you know that this thing can be a little bit of correction for your animation. It can actually do a lot of stuff for your animation. No, I think I'm adding this to shape layer 2 again. I'm sorry about that mistake. I'm gonna press Ctrl Z to do that, and I'm gonna have to just create a plane path just like this. Okay, that seems perfect to me. And I'm gonna just have to set the stroke. Yeah, I think I set the stroke. I just need to increase the stroke thickness. So as you can see, just a plain line right here. So what are we gonna do with this plain line? Like a lot of stuff can be done with plain line. I'm gonna have to form the zigzag part. Look at the zigzag. This is zigzag. So I press add and I clicked on zigzag, as you can see. So I clicked on the zigzag right here, and I can improve the zigzag size just like this. Okay, and I could just do some crazy stuff with zigzag. I can improve the ridges of the segment, and I could just make it a little bit smooth corner just like this. You know, it's gonna make it look pretty simple, but I'm gonna let it have corner because I think that makes it more better. So as you can see, this is a little bit of zigzag line. It's quite make a lot of sense. So we're gonna add the repeater too. No, sorry, we're gonna add a trim path as usual, and in this trim path there's a lot of stuff to be done. Okay, so as not to misunderstand any kind of formal cases, we have trim path. First, turn everything to 0% as usual, and I recommend you open this because we don't want to make any mistake in our trim path process. And not to make mistake, we're gonna have to use the frame of the again to make sure it's rhyme with each other. Okay, so now we're gonna set the end to 0, keyframe it at 0, move a few frames forward again, and set the end start to 0, move a few keyframes forward again just like this. Okay, we're gonna put the end at 100%. Okay, move a keyframe, a little bit of keyframe forward like this, and kind of pull the end to 100% all over again. So as you can see, look at a beautiful, like this is an amazing motion graphics, as you can see. So we've managed to form those popular motion graphics you see every blessed day. So I think next episode we're going to be working with keyframes. Okay, so let's just say we made a little bit of stuff like that. Okay, motion graphic stuff of those parts or this decorative line. So there are a lot of stuff you can actually achieve with all these art tools. Okay, wiggle transform, wiggle part, twist. Okay, twist stuff. Okay, let me just do a little bit of touch on twist. I'll create a little bit of pen tool right here. This is shape layer 4. So let's say I just want to create something like this. Okay, point A and B. So how am I going to do the twist stuff? I'm going to go to here, add. I'm going to add a twist. So I'm going to open twist 1 and let's see. Oh my god, you see what I'm talking about? So that's a very brilliant design actually, because if you're very creative in motion graphic design, you will notice a brilliant design. And we can actually go ahead and just put a, yeah, we could put a zigzag to it. Look at what it cost, for God's sake. Okay, we can just put a zigzag to it. You see how it looks so interesting in the kind of look, and we could prove and improve the center of the stuff. Have you seen, like, you can animate the center too? Have you seen? So we're going to work with keyframes, and maybe we can actually go a bit over this one. So if we can also add a trim part here. Look at trim part. If we add a trim part here, just imagine what we could do with the trim part. We could just increase the end. You see, you just increase the start. You add this to your motion graphic beginning, like those kind of beginning in which you can just let an object come in. Let me give you a little bit of what I'm talking about. Like, okay, I want to create parameter skills training. Obviously, how beautiful this is. Come on, it's just a gem, a rare gem. You don't just see it anywhere. So this is actually the parameter skills training. So I want to put a soft layer. As I've told you before, I could just apply some animation presets from right to this place. Okay, and I'm gonna have to go to text effect. I think the text effect will suit it more better. So I think I'll go towards parts. Let's make it a 360 loop. So I'm gonna apply it to the text. Okay, and when everything rolls in just like this, my text comes out. Oh, I think this was the wrong one I got from our text. I'm gonna press Ctrl Z. Okay, it just makes my text rolling. Let me use something more simpler so it's not claustrophobic, because I cannot actually test out the effects here. Even if I'm able to text everybody, that means I'm not actually learning anything, because I have to learn how to make this effect myself. So this one just made my text look somehow. Maybe we should just use the simple one. Now, by the time I'm using simple one, the most regular motion graphics tools that you're meant to, the effect that is right in the effects preset that you're more likely to use, is gonna be the typewriter effect. Yeah, the typewriter effect right here. And when you put it on it, okay, press U to see your keyframes, and you can see your keyframe right here. So when you just move, you see your text typing just easily one by one. So you've seen it. Actually, this thing is setting the keyframes automatically for us. But in the next episode, we're going to be working totally on keyframes, and I hope we're able to cover that in a very big amount of time. Okay, so that's all for today's skills training. Please make sure you give us a thumbs up below and give us a comment, and let's see how far we can go with this tutorial. And if there's anything you don't understand in this tutorial, please kindly inform us. Okay, we'll do our best to make sure we create a kind of form of explanation based on it. Thank you very much in place. Have a beautiful, nice and wonderful day, and stay safe. Let's give it a little bit of preview of what we did today. Ooh, what a good motion graphics. Yeah, you're kind of learning the basics. Let's see how far we can go.